During a very dark period in my life, I found inspiration by reading the great epic poet, the Iliad. So see, Seth, you're not the only person that gotten by taking ideas from Homer.
He's a guy who's beaten every opponent he has gone up against, except the letter S.
Look at you, Seth. You've got the spray-on tan, the waxed eyebrows, the pec implants, halogen teeth, the bleached anus, the scrotal tuck, nipple enlargement, taint augmentation. But I got to admit, I envy you. You've got boatloads of money, 3 TV shows, and still, even with all the work you've had done, you can walk down the street totally unrecognized.
Charlie, you claim to have tiger blood, but with all the porn stars you've banged, it's probably just Tiger Woods' blood, I'm guessing. As you may know, Charlie Sheen is not his birth name. His original Spanish name is Senor Drugs. Kidding aside, though, Carlos Estevez took his dad's name, yes, to gain credibility as an actor. I've seen your films, and you don't really act like a Sheen. But, you know, with your rap sheet and briefcases of coke, you're definitely acting like a Carlos. Charlie went on to star in TV and film, both drama and comedy. He was the star of Hot Shots, which is also what Charlie feels when he takes a piss. So now, Charlie is a self-contained unit. He is dependent upon no man and no thing, except crack, jack, crank, meth, ludes, Vicodin, blow, acid, uppers, poppers, nitrous, dust, hash, and this one boner medicine from Norway. He's the reason a dick with cocaine on it is called a sheenus. He's still with us, Charlie Sheen. In fact, Charlie just celebrated his 46th birthday. A statement no one thought we would ever hear. Charlie allegedly made a prostitute cry at the Plaza Hotel. I want to tell you, though, Charlie, I think she's lying. Because I saw the scene where you got arrested in Wall Street. You can't even make yourself cry. But you know, with all those dangerous jobs shows on TV, like the ones about crab fishing, ice road trucking, why is there no show about the most dangerous job out there, being an escort for Charlie Sheen? How long must we wait for the first season of Deadliest Snatch? I'm ready to see that right now. Honestly, Charlie, I never thought I would live to see the night that you would live to see this night. I really did.
Seth MacFarlane, the only difference between you and the hooker Charlie locked in the closet is that the hooker eventually came out.
Kate Walsh. Why are you here? Let me say that it is a thrill to be around the hottest, sexiest woman of 2002.
Seth MacFarlane! Come on, everyone, take it easy on Seth. It's gotta be hard for him to do a roast, especially because The Simpsons haven't done it yet. If only The Simpsons would wipe its ass in front of Seth MacFarlane, he could learn to do it too. But sadly, Seth MacFarlane's bulky ass is caked in layers of unwiped excrement and shame because The Simpsons haven't done it yet.
Gilbert Gottfried. Just watching him perform, you can tell he's really got some extra, what's the word, chromosomes. And I
I always seem to look like someone just squirted lemon juice in my eyes.
Seth MacFarlane, thank you for not singing. And thank you for not telling any jokes. I've heard rumors that you like to drink, sometimes maybe a little too much. Now be careful, Seth. You don't want to end up like me. Tall, handsome, rich, and famous all over the world.
Look at you handsome son of a bitch. Take off your hair so I can run my fingers through it. You look great. You know, David, here's the thing. Some people call you a washed-up, talentless pile of crap. Just a terrible human being. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight, and let's get started with the roast. David, your acting is like Inception. There's no sense of reality. It's impossible to follow what's happening, and midway through, we realize you were unconscious the whole time. You know, I'll tell you though, my friend, you will always be Mitch Buchanan from Baywatch to me. This is a show that did for lifeguards what skin cancer did for lifeguards. Yes, for all his achievements, for all this man's many achievements, it was really Baywatch that made David a global celebrity. David had an important role on Baywatch. His job was to kill boners. But David is more than just a terrible actor. He's also a terrible singer. He's the only singer in history whose auto-tune just said, "F*** it." Now, as you saw from his big entrance, David is hooked on a feeling. The feeling he gets from 6 Vicodin. Recently, however, he hasn't had time to do another huge singing event. Just like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck haven't had time to write another screenplay. Or Anderson Cooper hasn't had time to find that special lady. And the Hoff is multilingual. They may not know this. He can speak, English, Spanish, German, and whatever the that language was in that cheeseburger video. Yes, David, my friend, you have done it all.
Thank you.
You've gone from Baywatch to Death Watch. And I think I speak for everybody here when I say that what we remember most of all about you is Pam Anderson's tits.
I consider Seth an icon, I do. Like, I got a critique about Seth. It's too much Seth. See, but I think the problem is with Seth is that he don't have a partner. You know, like the South Park guys or Hanna-Barbera. Hannah once said, "I'm bigger than Yogi," and Barbera slapped the shit out of him for saying that. Seth needs a Barbera to slap him and slap him twice. Once to say, "Hey man, don't forget why people love you." And 2, just say you're gay. No straight man writes that many show tunes. That's a fact.
You may recognize Patrice from his many speaking roles in movies, but only if you've sat in front of him in a theater. I know, some of these jokes may come off racist, which is why it's important to remember that Rosa Parks fought so Patrice could take 3 seats on the bus.
During a very dark period in my life, I found inspiration by reading the great epic poet, the Iliad. So see, Seth, you're not the only person that gotten by taking ideas from Homer.
Tyson has had 3 marriages. The first 2 ended in knockouts. He's a guy...
I threw in the towel.
Please don't murder me. He's a guy... He's a guy who's beaten every opponent he has gone up against, except the letter S. So...